Before starting, I want to say 3 main things. First, have in mind that I'm not a professional nor have done any tutorial seriously, and I'm putting on this video a very big effort, because I want to help people that like me likes to mess around with old software. Second, the voice that you are hearing right now is not my real voice, it's from an online text-to-speech app. Because I think it's really good for being free, I will link it on the description. And last but not least, note that my UI is not as usual. The reason is that I'm a GNU Linux user, and this is the system I run, specifically Manjaro KDE. Don't panic, you can follow these steps on Windows or on Mac OS. I'm sure you can do it on Intel Macs, but I don't know if it works on M1 Macs. There are some requirements. You need to have qemu installed on your system since this is the utility we will be using. So if you don't have it installed on your system, please pause this video and install it. I will link some tutorials, any one of them is mine, on the video description, so you can install it. And if you are on Windows, I really recommend to add qemu to the path variable, because you will be able to start the app on another folder, not only on the qemu program folder. Also, I will recommend you at least do it on a medium class computer, because with the configuration we'll be using, the program can't virtualize. It only emulates, meaning that it will be a much bigger load for the CPU, and lower-end computers will struggle, but still, if this is the case, you can try it anyway. So on this tutorial, you will be taught how to install Mac OS X Panther on a modern computer. First, you will need to download the CD images. For doing so, open your browser of choice and search for the following web, winworldpc.com. Open the web page that says WinWorld, welcome. Once inside, on the top left, click on Library. Then on the list that says Apple/Mac, click on Mac OS X. On here, click on 10.3, and then download the 3 CD images following my steps. Once downloaded, extract all the images into the same folder. The text file that also comes can be deleted. Now here comes the, in quotes, scarier thing. We will need to use the terminal, but don't panic, it's really easy. First, if you are on Windows, click at the same time the Windows key and R, and on the dialog that opens, type CMD and hit enter. Now if you are in Mac OS, go to the launchpad and go to the utilities folder and open the app called Terminal. You now should have opened a window with some text. Let me open my terminal. First, you will need to go to the folder where are saved the images. For doing that, we will need to go by steps like if you open the file manager. The usual start point is the user folder, where there are all the folders from the user, such as desktop, documents, images and the other ones. First, in Windows, for seeing what folders, you can go type dir, and on Mac OS type ls, and then intro. Then for changing to another folder, you need to type cd, space, and the name of the folder. For going faster, after the first 3 to 4 letters, you can tap the tab key, the one on top of the caps button, for autocomplete. If you want to go back, type cd, and 2 points and intro. Repeat this process until you arrive to the desired folder. I'm going to another folder where I have the files for the tutorial. You can check for what folders you can go with the previous commands, dir and ls. I'm doing now on an only command, but for you it's easier to go step by step. On the desired folder, type the following command. I will leave it on the description also. Now we are telling to qemu to create a virtual hard disk, because we will install this old operating system on a virtual computer inside our PC. In the number with AG at the end we are telling qemu what is the maximum size, in gigabytes, of the hard disk. 10 gigs is a good enough size, although this can be modified if desired. Now we type dir, or ls for checking if the hard disk was indeed created. After it we will type this long command, or copy, that will start qemu. It needs to be the same, except the text on those symbols. Essentially what we are doing is first telling to qemu is boot from CD, then that it needs to emulate a Mac, the amount of RAM it can use in megabytes, the virtual hard disk, and last, but not least, the image from where it will boot. The image needs to be the one that says disk 1 at the end. After typing intro, it should appear this yellow screen, and then the Apple logo. Now while it's booting I want to say that unfortunately the audio doesn't work, because it isn't compatible. It has finally booted up. At this point we need first to select the language. I'll choose English, but you can choose whatever you want. Now we need to make the installer able to recognize the hard disk. For doing so first we go to Installer, and then we select the option, Open Disk Utility. Once it's opened, we select the hard disk, the top option, then we go to Erase. If you want you can change the partition's name, I do it after since I forgot it. And then we click Erase on the bottom right. When it's done, exit the utility and follow the steps. Accept all the licensees. Maybe it will say the same as me, and you won't be able to continue, but don't worry, you just need to restart the virtual machine. Go to Installer and click Exit Installer, confirm it, and when it appears the yellow screen, just close the window. When the Windows is closed, on the terminal, just press the up arrow, and it will appear the last used command, in this case the one used to boot up the virtual machine. Now just choose the language again, and accept all the licensees again. Now you can personalize the install. I recommend to skip all languages, but the one you selected, because otherwise it would take too long. At this point you just need to wait a really long time. Now the base installation has finished, and we need to boot from hard disk in order to continue the installation. First click Restart and later, on the yellow screen, close the window. On here click the up arrow button, and it will appear the old command. We need to go to the boot flag and change the argument from D to C. This will tell qemu to boot from the virtual hard disk, and not from the CD image. Now you need to click the key combination, Ctrl-Alt-2, on Windows or Linux and Command-Option-2, on Mac, to enter to the control screen. And on here write, change, cdrom, and the name of the second disk, or disk 2. After hitting enter, the installer will detect the new image and start copying. If it says device not found, try using IDE1CD0 instead of cdrom. For exit this screen, type Ctrl-Alt-1 on Windows or Linux and Command-Option-1 on Mac. Maybe after it will ask you the same, but with the third disk. In that case, just repeat this process. We have now finished the installation, and at this point is the same as it would have a Mac bought on the year 2003. First we select the country or region where you live. In my case is Spain. Now select the keyboard layout. I'm selecting a variation of the Spanish layout. On here select, don't create an Apple ID for me, and continue. On here push Command and Q, Windows key, and Q on Windows and Linux, and then click on Skip. Now enter your name or username, and if you want a password and another profile picture. Now select the time zone from where you are. You just click on the map for doing so. Now set the date and time. It should be correct although. Click Done and congrats. You have now installed Mac OS Panther on a virtual machine. Let's mess around a little. And by the way, you can change the resolution of the virtual screen on the settings of Mac OS. This browser won't be able to go to modern websites. So if you want to go to a website, I recommend to do it through a website called frogfind.com, which allows to old computers to surf the modern websites, or download the browser 10 for Fox, or one of its variants. Now for finish, I want to make a recommendation for you. If you are on Windows, open Notepad and paste the command that we used to enter the virtual machine. Wot out the cdrom part on here, and then save the file with the name startvm.bat. This will start the virtual machine without needing to open the terminal, just opening this file. And if you are on Mac or Linux, just copy as the Windows people and then type nano start_vm.sh. Here type the following phrase and then on the bottom paste the command. After it, click Ctrl X, then Y and finally intro. And now you need to enter the command chmod 755 startvm.sh that will make you able to start the virtual machine without the terminal. And here ends the tutorial. I hope you found this video useful and you have enjoyed it. See you later.